or rather the St. Joe's and George Mason game, Coach Tag. You were that one wasn't close, but all the rest of these have been a lot closer on the floor than they were on paper. I mean, even VCU, they were up by 19 at one point against Richmond, and Richmond brought it within 2. And the Rams were able to stretch there late in the contest to advance here to.
We had possession basketball, a little bit of separation in a couple of the games at the end due to free throws. But let me tell you something. If you were here in the arena, and I hope we were able to convey that and our partners were able to convey that to you, it was electric. I mean, if you're in the Richmond area, I know it's icy, I know, but you're already holed up. You can't go anywhere. Walk down to the Coliseum, get down here, dial it up, call your friends, dial into the network here, the A-10 Digital Network, because this is great basketball. March Madness already starting right here.
Yeah, I posted it online today. I told most of the folks, I said, come on, it's Friday. What are you doing at work anyway? You're going to be goofing off at your desk on the internet. You might as well log on and spend the afternoon with us here, for we're getting ready for some of the best women's basketball you will see in the country, and we've got a full day of it here as the Flyers. And we talked about this a little bit, Coach, before we got on the air. Both of these schools are used to a big game environment.
Yeah.
I mean, VCU, their pep band has gotten national acclaim. Dayton averages just under 2,500 fans a game.
Wow.
They've brought their band today. We've got a large contingency of fans in the stands for this noon contest on a Friday, ready to cheer on their squads. I mean, this is going to be fireworks off the floor as well, as we've got a lot of fans here ready to go.
VCU, lots of screens, staggers, ISO, back screen, up screen, down screen, slip screen, triple post, maybe a little bit of triangle and 2. Dayton. I mean, if you enjoyed basketball in the 80s, just the real pure game of that 70s, 80s, early 90s, when it was all below the rim, really on both sides of the ball. Every once in a while, the Phi Slamma Jamma brought in the whole new era of basketball above the rim. But for those of us who were born in an earlier era, who know the heritage and the history of A-10 basketball, you're going to love what the Dayton Flyers are bringing today. The Legends class is coming during halftime, too.
I know, it's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking with Legends all day. You got to attend the Legends brunch this morning. I mean, we've got a lot of great players here. Mary Alice Jeremiah, Carrie Jaconis. We talked about some of the folks, Dale Hodges. I mean, there's a lot of names on this list. We're going to get the chance to sit down and talk with some of them. Some of them are going to be introduced at halftime throughout. This is a great day for the Atlantic 10, and we're about ready to have some great action here. As you see on your screen, Dayton is the #1 seed wearing the white uniforms trimmed in red and with the blue numerals trimmed around there. VCU wearing their traditional black uniforms trimmed in the gold and white with the gold numerals. And we're getting set to tip this one off.
One quick thing before you get out of the chute here, buddy. Watching the warm-ups today, it was a complete culture clash. Dayton, no coaches on the floor, no trainers, no strength coach, just the players chattering, talking. VCU had the strength coach, the assistant coach, the manager, the GA. Just a really different style of basketball, both electric and exciting and high scoring.
Getting set to jump it off here. Parks in the center circle against Malett. And Williams gets the tip from Malett away, and so VCU will control first. The arrow will stay with Dayton. There's a drive from Thorpe there down into the corner. She kicks it over to Parks. We said Parks is where a lot of the offense comes from, but she's really shined in the second half of games this year. And now the Rams will reset to Robinson at the top of the key.
Majority of their scoring comes from 3 players. We'll see what 4 and 5 can do.
Trying to get up for the rebound there, but couldn't. Flyers coming back the other way. This is Edwards pushing it down. Quick dish there, and Royster got a hand on it to smack that one away.
Hoover with the, potential assist. Catching the ball in the air, the acrobatic move of catching the ball in the air and passing it before your feet hit the ground. Are you kidding me?
Kick out here, quick shot by Malett. She shoots it from the stripe, and that'll count for 2.
Yeah,
Dayton
baby.
scores first.
Wow.
A little bit of pressure. Extended defense here from Edwards as she'll come up on Robinson, and she is really putting some pressure out there. Nice crossover dribble there, but Robinson nowhere to dish the pass.
Malott is a winner. That kid can stick it. So can that kid. Just hitting every part of the rim right there.
Amber Dean with the rebound. Quick dish there. Rams going for a steal. They lead the conference in steals, and they get one right there.
Chalk up another one, partner.
Exactly. Got about 70 more than everyone else, but a travel called there as Isis Thorpe tried to make that move, and I think she moved the feet before she put the ball on the floor.
Sometimes the feet are so fast, and the coach will be saying to the referee, watch the feet, not the fake. because I don't know if her feet moving all, but look at Malott drilling it from the top. That's her bread and butter right there.
Quick release from Malott. Dayton's just got a lot of scoring anyway. Their top 5, their starting 5 are all in double figures on the season.
What? Let me tell you, the last team I saw with their starting 5 all in double figures, Stanford women's basketball won the national championship when their starting 5 was all in double figures.
And Dayton definitely thinking about postseason, as with this VCU Rams squad, and both can help their cause today. Shot clock will expire, though, and that's the fury that Coach Marlene Stallings coaches. Constant ball pressure, Coach, forcing Dayton not to be able to get that one free in 30 seconds.
You know, I really felt like there was a lot of contact on that shot. It went up at the buzzer, but VCU, the Rams may have gotten away with one right there.
Joanne Aldrid's our head official today. Diane DePaul and Jennifer Rezak helping out there on the floor as well. And we got a whistle down low. Robinson's going to draw some contact on the baseline.
Remember my shot chart from the last time these two met? It was possession basketball at Dayton. And I'm telling you what, it was a war, a battle.
Dayton, as we said, 14-2 in the conference. VCU only losing by 4 there. 73-69 was the final back on February 15th when these two teams met.
And you see right there, off the dribble, a lot of the shots are going to come off the dribble, partner.
Great pacing by Williams there to sink that one as she caught Hoover coming down. So a good little head fake there, gets the Rams the score.
Malott.
Long 3 ball there. Dayton not afraid to shoot the 3.
In transition, no less.
They're the number 3 3-pointing shooting team in this conference. Williams again, too strong off the glass, follows her own shot, gets the rebound. Now here's Thorpe, where she's dangerous from behind the stripe, and the Rams take the lead, and a quick timeout for the Flyers.
Dangerous and deep. Did you see how far she was? She was about 3 feet behind the 3-point line right there.
This is we'll keep it here. So you take this timeout here. Dayton's going to get a quick talk about it. Just not happy is Coach Kim Jabir here and what he's seen in the first 2.5, Coach. And we see that long 3 from Thorpe there.
Coach Jaber has done one of the most outstanding jobs of any coach in the country. This man has completely rebuilt the infrastructure of Dayton women's basketball, and completely single-handedly, with the help of about a couple hundred amazing student athletes that have come under his tenure, rebuilt the infrastructure. And I give total credit to Jim Jaber for absolutely raising the bar in the Atlantic 10 for women's basketball.
Back-to-back regular season champions in the Atlantic 10. This is Edwards bringing it down. There's those active hands, 2 disrupted, but Flyers still control. Long cross-court pass into the corner, and this one's held by Hoover. 2-time
Coach of the Year, Jim Jaber.
That's right.
Look at that.
You got a couple first teams out there, and one of them, Malott, just went up for it.
You know what? When you got a Coach of the Year, you got Players of the Year, you got the reigning Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, all right? And Andrea Hoover. I asked Coach Jaber, I asked every coach this week, if human cloning were possible, and I'm glad it's not, maybe one of these great institutions in the Atlantic 10 is probably inventing that right now, and maybe they've already done it. Now, the officials, you're going to see them walk in there, and I don't know if they're going to call a violation. Really, that was on the officials. Hopefully they'll take credit for that, and they do. They self-correct. Great job. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Great job with the A-10 officials here. But let me tell you something. He said if he could, and it's not Malott. Malott's on the line. Take 100 to Andrea Hoover.
Malott misses the second one there, so the Rams lead is just 2 now. Kick out into the corner. Here's Thorpe with another long ball, and she's heating up early. Ices Thorpe with 2 from behind the line.
In transition. 2 from behind. Or was she behind? Was that 3?
They're counting it as a 3 ball at the moment.
Yep.
8-3 now is the lead.
They might come over here and grab our monitor again. I don't like when they do that. It messes up all my material over here, you know?
That one is a foul down low.
Sant. You're going to see this later on. I'm just going to tell you right now. I know you don't want to hear this, but she's on my all lunch pail team.
Oh no, she's a hard worker, and you saw it right there, doing the yeoman's work. Sant at the line for the stripe. We talked about the Atlantic 10 honors this year. Andrea Hoover and Allie Malott on the floor right now, first teamers for Dayton. And Hoover's your player of the year. Robin Parks for VCU, also a first teamer for the Rams. You see Williams head to the bench, first substitution of the contest, and see Daisy Alazy is going to come in for the Rams.
We talk about sometimes you'll see that A-10 screen come across because the big screen and the TV's right through the back of the backboard there. So you're kind of watching yourself shoot the free throw while you're shooting the free throw. That's pressure.
It is. So gets one there. And we're at 8-4 right now between Dayton and VCU.
You see Edwards shadowing the ball, just a little shadow, about 3/4, just to let them know we're not going to let you get that easy transition layup.
This is back to Williams now, Robinson rather, looking for Thorpe. Thorpe trying to create some space. She's just going to shoot it.
Oh my goodness.
Too strong on that one. Had a defender in her face, but another offensive board for the Rams. Dish out there. This is to the baseline. Henry. She couldn't get it, but instead it's a 3-ball from Robinson.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
You know, the Rams do not have as high of a field goal percentage as Dayton, but they take about 300 more shots than them.
Look at that inside out opposite from the short corner. I'm telling you, I haven't seen that almost all the games I've been calling this year. That is beautiful.
Down into the corner. Now the entry pass to Sant.
There it is again, partner.
Sant over to Edwards. Edwards off the glass, too strong.
My goodness, that's just textbook fundamental basketball.
Parks with the pull-up jumper. That one rattles out off the back of the iron. Dayton the other way. This is the pace we expected to see. A little bit too strong, out of bounds. Slightly touched there, but unfortunately Hoover is unable to move forward. We're going to stay here on this timeout, talk to you a little bit more about what's going to be happening today here at the Richmond Coliseum. Taking a quick look at our bracket action, and then we'll move into some information about the Legends Brunch. But number 1 Dayton here taking on VCU. Our next contest is going to see the number 5 seed Hawks from St. Joe's against number 4 GW. Doesn't get any closer than that. That one is going to be a battle. And then Robert Fish.
Barn burner, just like the last time they played.
And Robert Fish is Shane White going to be back here with you in the afternoon session. He's over there right now. Shane's over there not only singing the national anthem, he's working on the Dayton radio crew right now.
He's calling the game
But they've
right
got
now.
St. Bonnie's LaSalle at 5, and then we're going to have Fordham and Duquesne. That one should also be a big offensive game after what we saw last night. Fordham Rams are a scoring team. But, Coach, tell me a little bit about what you had going on this morning over at the Marriott with this Legends Brunch.
Commissioner Bernadette McGlade, everything she touches turns to gold. I've been saying yes to her for 25 years because she recruited me as a player at Georgia Tech, and I still can't say no to her. And everybody in the Richmond community has been saying yes to her. And this morning, the Master of Ceremonies, Greg Burton from ESPN Radio.
Good friend.
Yeah, talked about what happens. Great coaches and great programs are either ascending or descending. And he said, mark it down. For 30 years, and in addition, since the arrival of Commissioner Bernadette McGlade, the Atlantic 10 Conference is ascending. It is on the rise. Mark it down. You see these legends introduced at halftime. Don't go away at halftime today. You're going to want to see this.
Absolutely. The legends for the 2 in this contest is Dr. Mary Alice Jeremiah and Kelly Hoover for VCU. And they're representing every school represented here for the Legends and some future Legends on the floor right now.
See the shadow. Now, Dayton doesn't always extend the defense all the way up with that one person, and then a double down. They're going to change up the defense almost every time down the floor.
Vecchio gets into the game for the Rams, just barely missed that 3. It was tipped away by Calhoun, and that's going to go out of bounds and stay with Dayton. And the double team against Robinson there, just causing a little bit of disruption for VCU.
Let's get it over with, though. Jody Corneli Sigmundova. Let's just get it up. Sigmundova from France, number 12. This kid definitely has an international flavor because she made the international team for France.
A lot of
oh, beautiful.
You called her name, and she
gravy.
calls her own name there on that one and sinks the basket.
I'm telling you, I don't think you can coach that. I think a kid comes with that. I think a student athlete is born, has DNA. That is finesse basketball at its finest.
Sigmundova there. Robinson pulls up for the jumper from the corner of the paint. Can't knock it down. Quick drive and cut through the lane. Amber Dean, though, couldn't get the finish. Fighting for the ball, still fighting for it. Now the jump ball is called.
She was almost too open, Joey. I tell you, some of these kids are so used to, these student athletes are used to playing under pressure. Look at the extension. Look at the hard work. Everybody get your hands on the ball, getting on the floor.
And Marlene Stallings just basically brought in another line on that one. She made 4 substitutions, as she's ought to do, because of the type of pace she plays with her team. Finney Smith enters the game, as does Mitchell. Parks is back on.
I don't think you can get any better than 3 for 4 from the three-point line right now for VCU, and uncharacteristically, Dayton 0 for 2.
Zakia Williams is the only Ram that stays out, or Paleckio rather. Zakia Williams comes back in.
See that touch pass? Who does that anymore?
Great bounce pass in. This is your A-10 player of the year with the give. Too strong. And another board for VCU. 11-6 is our score. Rams pushing the other way. And there's the whistle. It's a little bit of a reach there. And you talk about the pace. You think right now it seems like it's favoring what VCU wants to do, as Dayton has been called for a few here.
Well, it's a little bit frenetic, a little bit more north-south than Dayton would prefer, a little bit more east-west. So we'll see who win the push and pull.
Nice inbound there, and Williams gets the kiss.
Everything's off of these big cuts and massive off the bounce, but Dayton pass and cut, pass and cut. Old school basketball.
Tiffany Johnson handling at the top of the key. She's into the game for the Flyers now. Over to Dean. Dean from the left wing.
Remember what we talked about, our matchup partner? That's a matchup zone they're running, and sometimes it's a man and sometimes it's a zone. They can switch. They can, depending on what Coach Stallings has called, stay with a player that dribbles, but it's really giving Dayton some trouble right now.
Yeah, and Dayton struggling there as Malott dove for that one. And we've seen this happen, the scoring early in these games in the tournament. You want this if you're a coach. Have come from some of the more unexpected players. It's not always your top scorer getting the points here. There's your top scorer for VCU. What a jumper by Parks on the baseline.
That's her classic move. I mean, she goes down to that baseline and does work.
Rams faithful getting a little bit louder here as VCU extends the lead to 9. Entry pass here, though. You go back to your player of the year, and there's a baseline jumper answer for Dayton by Malott.
Pass from the player of the year to the Malott, just a lunch pail player. I mean, she just goes to work. Beautiful shot from the elbow and the baseline.
Long three there off the glass, and everything is falling for the Rams. That's Finney Smith.
We've already opened the bank at the start of the championship event. The bank is open.
Reach in there.
Remember, it's automatic foul when you touch and make contact with the ball handler this year. The whistle will blow.
Yeah, and Hoover just a little bit too fast there. She's so quick off the dribble, and she draws a lot of contact when she drives like that.
Look at that long ball.
Dean's,
I think even longer when you come off the glass, you know.
Dean's going to check out for Dayton. And we'll see Plecchio go to the bench as well for VCU along with Mitchell. Rams the other way. Robinson back into the contest. Finney Smith wanted it again, couldn't get the bank. Long rebound, though, comes to VCU.
Long shots mean long rebounds, and you have to box out long. And when I say box out, I mean get the ball. You don't necessarily have to box out. You just have to follow the angles and get the ball.
Finney Smith head fakes the three there. Parks screaming for it down low as she battles Malott. Williams is going to drive and try to take on three. Monster block from Corneli Sigmundova.
The kitchen is closed, all right?
Nothing happening there.
I mean, it's out of here. Look at this.
She leads Dayton in blocks, and that is exactly why the 6'4" sophomore from France.
That's how they do it in Strasbourg, France, just in case you wondered.
Robinson going to try to drive away. I think she had a little bit of a flashback of what just happened.
Yeah.
Finney Smith missing the long three. Thorpe can't get a hold of it.
Good call and good decision by Robinson to get it out. Maybe not a great decision. I'd like to see Finney Smith maybe just reverse that. You know, she's feeling it, and we get that. But maybe not this time. She's missed 2 in a row there.
And Marlene Stallings going to bring her in and kind of coach her up a little bit about that. 2 more substitutions for the Rams. We see Melanie Royster, the center, starting, coming back in for VCU. We also see Camille Calhoun back into the game, the freshman from Bowie, Maryland.
See how they're not guarding air. In this zone, you never guard air. In a regular zone, sometimes you guard air, but in a matchup zone, you man up.
Double team there, frees it up from Malott. This is Hoover on the board. Despite the contact, sinks that jumper.
And off a touch pass from Malott. That's the 3rd touch pass that we've seen from the Dayton Flyers. Beautiful.
18-10 is your score here. Dayton leading, Rams controlling the ball. Williams will hold it on the right side. Now over top to Robinson. Back to Thorpe on the left wing. Thorpe will drive, pull-up jumper. Rattles out. Over the top, though, and that's going to go the other way. The foul, even though she came down with the ball, unfortunately, Calhoun was all over Malott there, and that will bring us to a break. We'll step aside and take a quick breather here. It'll be Dayton's ball when we come back, but the Rams have the lead, 18-10 here on the A-10 Digital Network. Back here at the Richmond Coliseum, Dayton right now, the #1 seed, trailing by 8 points here as we've got 11:40 left to go in the first half. And Coach, you know, Dayton comes into this one averaging about 83.6 points per game. You got to think that the scoring drought's not going to last too long for the Flyers.
No possible way. I don't think that Dayton Flyers know how to spell the phrase scoring drought.
Pass through the double team, and
yeah, that's right.
Lazy went down hard on the right arm there, but she does get another tip at that one, and the contact is going to set up an inbound for VCU.
And you see Malott and Hoover immediately communicating with Sigmundova and saying, hey, here's what we were going after on that. They'll get it right next time. High communication, high level of communication on this Dayton Flyers team.
And that's what you expect from that leadership. As we said, Dayton, an explosive team here, and good defense coming out, trying to disrupt things on the point. It's Edwards. Kick out there. Lazy looking for the cross-court pass to Parks. Parks now thought about pulling up for it. Instead, we'll dish it off to Royster. There's the give and go. Reverse layup will drop for Robin Parks.
That's old. That's nice. That's old school.
Robin Parks here. She's the first teamer for VCU, taking on 2 first teamers for Dayton. And a little bump there, and Royster tried to set up position, but Malott just too strong and too quick for that, Coach.
Can I just tell you something? I've been calling games down the ATL all year. I have seen more reverse layups in this A-10 championship than I've seen all year put together in the games I've been calling.
There's some fancy play down low
It's
underneath the basket here.
I mean, that's how they roll in the A-10. It's good basketball, fundamental basketball.
We will see Robinson head to the bench for the Rams. Some more contact there, so 2 quick fouls against VCU. And right now the Rams already sitting with 5 team fouls, as that one was called on Isis Thorpe.
Okay, let's talk zone principles. They've got to move the ball faster than the zone can recover. Get your bigs behind the zone to open up the outside. The bigs aren't going behind the zone, Joey. They're sitting right in front of the defense, and the defense doesn't have to shift.
This is Ashley Mitchell at the point. Mitchell has definitely grown into the backup point guard position this season. As you see, Parks stripped on that one, and quick hands down low.
I mean, that's enough. Okay, you can't coach fast, you can't coach long, you can't coach quick hands. Either you have them or you don't. You can't teach kids to finish.
You want to talk about something scary about this Dayton team? Sant's your only senior, and they're your #1 seed. Dayton's looking to be at top for a while.
Frighteningly. I mean, just really, that's a frightening reality for the league.
Rams have doubled them up, though, thus far here. Pass back to Parks. Parks will go one-on-one against Sant and got the teardrop to fall. Robin Parks getting it going in the first half.
And Malott was even cutting under her, a little bit of body action, and she scores it anyway.
There's a quick drive, and that one rattles out. And I think we've seen Edwards try to take a little bit too much on her shoulders early.
VCU has shot almost twice as many times as Dayton. The numbers never lie, Joey, this time of year.
Edwards again with the long shot. She can't find her stroke. Rams get the rebound after the steal from Dean. But VCU will slow it down here a little bit. And Coach, you think right now, are we dealing with a team that's warm from playing yesterday in VCU and a team Dayton who's waited a few days? They might be a little bit colder.
I got to be honest with you. Watching warm-ups, I was a little concerned because I felt like the Rams were a bit casual in their warm-ups. Okay, I was a little concerned because they are sleeping in their own dorm room. They are sleeping in their own apartments. They're very comfortable right now. Remember how
they talked about it yesterday in the press conference.
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what champions do. That's who they are. They're okay when things get uncomfortable. They stay comfortable.
Royster with the block there, sent that one out of bounds. So Dayton inbounds here with a limited shot clock. Now Hoover looking to go down low. Sant triple team. That zone collapsed on her. Another long ball for the Flyers. Won't fall. And you talked about the difference in shooting. The Rams have shot 300 more this season than Dayton, and they're falling for him right now. Pilecchio with the 3-ball, and VCU is pulling away here, up by 15 in the first half.
She did not miss in the first game of the championship. She did not miss a 3-pointer.
Drive there by Hoover. She can't get the contact, can't get it to fall either. Rams coming the other way. Robinson one-on-one. Crossover dribble. She'll go up and get the and one play, and it is all VCU right now.
Let me tell you something. if you were watching warm-ups, I wanted to take their pulse. I wanted to go out there and say, hey, what's going on out there? But from the tip, they have owned the tempo. The Rams have owned the tempo from the tip. Give them full credit.
Robinson with a chance to convert on the three-point play here. Substitution for Dayton. We see Sigmundova check out. We're going to bring a little bit more guard-heavy lineup in here.
Coach Marlene Stallings off camera, giving her players some dap as they're coming out. She's raising her hands to the fans.
She's
to
got
get it going.
the fury starts with Coach Stallings. She's got as much energy out there as any of her players.
Now listen, Coach Jaber, he's a professor, all right? He's going to sit there, he's the thinker. He sits there and watches, and that's the first time I've seen her miss in a championship event.
Yeah, Plecchio, but she's going to go right back to it. Shoots between two flyers, short on that one. Mitchell trying to get after that one, coming back quickly the other way, pulls that one out.
Got to.
Here's Hoover, your A-10 player of the year. Can't find the bottom of the net. Now a tie up here, and that jump ball should give it back to Dayton.
Hoover.
That's going to be VCU.
Hoover has to find the bottom of the net. The player of the year has to step up into this gap, which, by the way, again, 2 degrees from Georgia Tech. I'm not a math major, but doing the math, I think it's an 18-point game right now.
It is an 18-point game right now. And you've got Hoover, your leading scorer, 17 points per game with just 2.
Yeah.
Mitchell feeling some pressure. She's double-teamed. Can't get that one through. Great trap set by the Flyers. Hoover the other way, one-on-one, cross-court pass, and that one won't fall, and Hoover follows it up there, and she gets the stick back.
Wow.
I think she heard her name a little bit too much coming from our direction, said I need to shut these two up and get the second basket in here.
Kid is special. Coach Jim Jaber said she is his prototype player, gutsy, tough, unselfish, exactly what the A-10 player of the year should be.
Williams has that one rattle out. Board by Henry, goes back up. She can't get it to fall. Saving play by Hoover.
In the air, making these acrobatic passes, unbelievable.
Now Edwards pushing down, the freshman.
Smart.
Over to Hoover there, and that's bad news if you're pulling for the Rams right now. She is heating up. The lead cut to 13, 28-15 now.
I don't even think she bent her knees. I mean, we were right in the straight line of that shot, and it was on from the second she touched it. It was in.
Mitchell, Plecchio, back to Mitchell now, and travel. Shuffled the feet there, didn't get the ball down. That's gonna bring us to our timeout. VCU still in control, but momentum starting to swing back Dayton's way a little bit as the number 1 seed trails the number 8 seed, 28-15 here on the A-10 Digital Network. Back here on the A-10 Digital Network, live from the Richmond Coliseum, and number 1 Dayton right now is trailing VCU. And Coach, that's not totally unexpected. There's a lot of parity. We've got 7 teams in this league with 20-plus wins, and we've got a lot of momentum in the RPI as well.
3 in the top 64. If you just cut it off at 64 right now, of course, other people win conference titles and it shuffles a little bit. But if you're on the NCAA selection committee and you're watching this event right now, you need to know the strength and the depth of this conference is really unparalleled. I mean, really, it's probably the highest it's been in a long time, just the parity.
Sigmundova had to kick that pass back out as she's trying to work that number 42 team in the RPI back into this game. And that one falls for the freshman. Celeste Edwards.
Dayton, St. Joe's, been in the top 40 RPI all year. They're in, no doubt.
Edwards 0 for 5 before that one fell. Robinson back in now.
But Fordham coming on strong. Top 60, top 50, getting in and out of there.
Air ball on the 3-ball, but Marvin Parks able to put that one back. And you're absolutely right, Coach. You talk about this is a Fordham team that's playing in the 7:30 game tonight, and you know they've got a great win-loss record. They're kind of deceptively good.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of focus, obviously, on what Dayton's been able to do with a great overall record. And look at Hoover there fighting for the jump ball.
Headsy play by Hoover. I mean, this kid is the real deal.
Just a minute after that one drops, Hoover's able to get the hand on it.
The total package.
And she's fighting to get her team back into it.
Number 4 in the nation in free throw shooting right there. 46 consecutive free throws, but look at that pass.
Yeah, great entry pass there. Malak goes up, tries to tip it out. Rams with the quick hands, though. Now in the fast break. Thorpe thought about the 3. She'll drive, pull-up jumper. That one's off the glass.
Everything's off the dribble.
VCU,
and it's working for them.
VCU's playing pretty loose right now. Dayton trying to work back into another great entry pass. Quick release there. Milan, I think, forced that one. Looked a little bit rushed.
Like we said earlier in the championship run, some of the players are looking for calls that they're just not going to get. You got to get tougher.
Great backdoor cut there, but the block took it away from Williams. Now Hoover over in the corner. That one rattles out. We expected a lot of shots here, but another steal, this time for Dayton. Drive there, and Edwards, after going 0 for 5, has made her last 2.
She is just not backing down. Celeste Edwards, freshman. Mark it down. This kid's here to stay.
And fearless when it comes to pulling the trigger.
Yeah, you got it.
So Robinson now is going to slow it down just a little bit. It's Finney Smith, she drove. Didn't have a chance on the shot there. Dayton wants the charge, but they're not going to get the call.
Jim Jaber, boy, he is really asking for it, and I think he might have been right. Just depends on where feet. We couldn't see. It was outside of the screenshot.
That's your 5'9" guard there, planting the feet and trying to take the charge, but instead it's going to send the Rams to the line as Finney Smith had the heads-up play just to throw that one up at the hoop. She'll sink the first one. Now Sant's going to come back in and give Malott a breather.
Talking about Celeste Edwards, she's an education major, but the ESPN Hoop Girls, one of their comments on her was impressive individual skills, but creates for other people. That's one thing to create for yourself, but when you create for the rest of the team, you put her on a team like the Dayton Flyers, well, that says something special about that freshman.
She's a big part of why they have 5 scorers with double-digit averages on the season. So Edwards controls it as the point as Hoover checks out for Dean now, gets a touch. On the right side, there's the steal all the way for Robinson. She's going to drive. Dayton got back quick, though. Yep. Robinson lost her footing, and that's going to be a travel.
You see the body language we talked about yesterday. A couple of teams just weren't playing with urgency. Even on a misstep, Dayton plays with urgency to recover. Robinson just lost her footing there, grabbing her elbow, may have landed awkwardly, but she looks like she's fine. She's staying in the game. I've got to see the Flyers have got to get behind this zone. They are too much in front of it now. Right now, I see a couple. There we go. That's exactly what we're looking for. Sneak behind the zone in order to shift it and make the defense turn their heads.
And the speed of Dean and Williams to get back defensively there. Now the entry pass, and look at that zone collapse. Yeah. Royster gets her hands on it, but it will stay with Dayton. 15 on the shot clock for the Flyers when they inbound here.
Sigmundova has got to understand when the collapse comes, she's got to chin check it and get that ball right back out to a shooter.
Yeah, 4 players are on you and you're 6'4" there. That means there's got to be 4 players open. Edwards.
There it is.
This one over to Johnson. Johnson. And there's the little baby hook. That one will fall.
And it is, listen, I'm just old, okay? I'm not saying that I told you so. I just see, I got a lot of gray hair. But, I mean, when you've been doing this as long as I have, you see things 2 passes ahead, and you could just see that developing, and that is just textbook how to beat the zone.
Well, that's probably what you had been drawing up for about 5 minutes ago in that last timeout, and that's what you want your players to do. Too
Coach
strong
Jaber,
for the Rams.
During that timeout, he made that adjustment. It's obvious they're sneaking the post now behind the zone. The defense is having to put their head on a swivel, puts them just a little bit just enough out of position so they can gain an advantage.
Too strong for the Rams on the other end, and then that's the teardrop there falling. As you see the Rams there holding on to the lead right now. On top of the Flyers, 34-21. We'll step aside for a quick break here on the A-10 Digital Network. So, Coach, we're talking a little bit about Dayton right now as they are down 34-21 against VCU, but they may not have the senior leadership, but they've got some experience on their team.
Yeah.
Got 5 players who are playing for their national teams.
Correct. Sasha Grant Allen for Canada. Andrea, help me out here. Sitkovic,
Yes,
that's right.
That's right.
Croatia.
You got it.
All right, we got Amber Dean, played for the U19 team here in the USA. Ali Malat, 5-0 gold medalist, all right, for our USA team here at FIBA in 2010. And then Cornelie Sigmonova, France, U16, U17, U18. 5 players. When you say international experience, that means they're playing year-round, okay? I'm not talking AAU ball, Joey. I'm talking about the highest level of competition for women's basketball in the world.
And there was Sitkovic right there trying to tip that one away, but the Rams do control. She gets into the game. The freshman from Croatia for the first time, Palecchio with the head fake.
Nice
Decides to pull it back. Hoover's back into the game for the Flyers as well, and too strong on the drive from Palecchio. Dayton the other way. Dean quickly down the court before the zone can set up. Hoover will pull the trigger, and she's short on that one. Fighting for it, though, is Sitkovic. Trying to battle underneath, but it's Robinson for VCU. She'll drive, throw up the prayer. It does not get answered, and a big board from the freshman. Now this is Edwards coming down the right side.
This is where the Rams have to learn to control tempo, learn to be comfortable being in the lead against a league leader.
Dayton just a little bit short on those last 2 threes, and now Robinson's going to slow things down. Coach, we talked about the momentum. VCU plays with a lot of high energy. They play at a high pace, but they're also very excited to be playing #1 right now. But they lost a little bit against Richmond in the second half as Parks sees that one rattle out. If you're VCU, are you concerned a little bit about another second half run from the opponent?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? If I'm VCU, I'm concerned about that red and white uniform that I'm matching up with today. League leader, the standard. And these Rams, they haven't been the standard. They haven't been the team that's just out in front for the whole year. It's hard to be out in front for the entire year. The lead goose, taking it on your forehead, that lead goose mentality that the Flyers are comfortable with.
Royster with the tip on that one. Comes down to Parks, and now Parks will get it back again from Robinson. She'll shoot the jumper. Made that one earlier. Sees it rim out there.
Well, one of the things you talked about, you mentioned the legs of the Rams and whether or not their legs would stand up to this pace. And you see them rattling out. Now you see no one's taking the ball out. It's kind of off camera right now. But they got a little mix up on the inbound, and one person wanted, I got it, you take it, and you call it, man.
Yeah, Coach Stallings calls a timeout.
Yeah,
Not happy with what she's seen from her team here as Dayton's closed this within 10 now. And it's like you said, the Rams were just on the floor 24 hours ago against Richmond. And now they're starting to show a little bit of wear as we see the nice drive there, and that one falls. Parks didn't get the charge call there, couldn't get the feet set, not enough contact to draw a foul. But a great bucket by Amber Dean, who is second in this team with 14 points a game.
We're seeing a little bit of the changing of the guard here. The ball rolls around and touches every part of the rim for Dayton and goes in with 1:23 to the half. It touches every part of the rim and goes out for the Rams. What is that? That's just experience. That's just don't flinch. Coach Jim Jaber is over on the sideline saying it's the blink game right now. How you maintain this momentum into the halftime is very important for how you start the second half, and it's obvious that the Flyers are on the ascension right now.
Well, as you said, the style comes from the coaches. Marlene Stallings coaches Fury, and she is up and down the sideline as Thorpe is fouled there. It looked like a block with some contact as well. So the freshman, Adriana Sivkovic, will get called for the foul there. But talk about Coach Jim Jaber. He's kind of, like you said, he's the professor. He's studying what's happening on the floor and having a little bit of a conversation with the officials, not happy about the call there. But Thorpe now will get to shoot 2.
And you see his conversation is cordial. It's very quiet. I'm sure he's saying something very strong, but he's saying it in a gentlemanly way.
And the second one rattles home for Thorpe. She'll score 2. Rams back on top by 12. Down the floor comes Dayton. Hoover, no entry pass, working it around the key now.
See Malott behind the zone, Joe. You see what I'm talking about? See how she's sneaking into that short corner? That's exactly what you want to do.
They want that entry pass. Still can't get it in there. Working it around, trying to unlock this VCU defense are the Flyers of Dayton. Now they get it to Sikovic. She's going to go baseline and can't get that one to fall. It's about a 12-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
It's all about momentum, and they've shortened the gap. If they can get it to single digits, I'm sure the Flyers will be very pleased to get into the locker room in single digits.
And the Rams are trying to avoid that here as they're content to work the clock a little bit. Look for the backdoor cut, just too many white jerseys in the way on that pass.
Eliminating unforced errors. That's what champions learn to do on a championship run.
Malott wide open 3, couldn't get it. Now the Rams will push with 11 on the clock. Looking for the last shot here, 8 seconds and ticking. Robinson's gonna bring it down, and she'll just pull up for the long 3. She can't draw iron on that one, but the rebound doesn't allow Dayton to do anything with it. It'll fall in the hands of Sikovic, coach, as we bring down the first half here. VCU's gonna run into the locker rooms with a 12-point lead over the top-seeded Dayton Flyers, but they were in this position yesterday against Richmond and saw the Spiders close the gap on them and almost steal the win.
Great call, partner. They were in this situation. Unfortunately, it slipped away for them. The lead dwindled, and they were barely able to hang on yesterday. Whether or not they'll be able to hang on today against the #1 seeded team, I'm not so sure.
Rams started out very hot from shooting. They go into the locker room at 37%, which isn't too far off of their season average. As the Rams are a 40% shooting team, but they take a lot of shots. They took 300 more shots this year than Dayton did. Dayton right now shooting 32%, which is well below their normal 45% average. Your leading scorers here as we head to the half, Hoover with 7 for Dayton and Thorpe with 10 for VCU. Parks behind her with 8. As we get ready to honor some of our Atlantic 10 legends here. And we're going to have some of that going on at the half as well. So we'll step aside, take a quick breather, and as soon as we start seeing some of the legends come out onto the floor, and actually I think it's going to happen right now. So good, we're going to jump right into that. So we will stay here with you and cover a little bit of this. And these are the folks you got to have brunch with this morning, Coach.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this opportunity. And if you have any connection and any history to the Atlantic 10 whatsoever, you want to be a part of this event. And it's just honoring the past. You know, you're building the future. That's what Bernadette McGlade and Commissioner McGlade and Commissioner Wendy, Associate Commissioner Wendy Larry for women's basketball, future-oriented people. They're constantly vision casting and visioneering and looking into the future and framing it up so that those of us who don't have such great eyesight, we can't see that far. These leaders, they're like eagles. They see like a mile in advance, you know. But you have to honor the past when you're building the future. It's a very unstable foundation unless you honor the past. And so this is very encouraging. Coach McGlade has brought this tradition in. This is the second year that we've introduced the Atlantic 10 legends. And go ahead, partner.
There's Dr. Mary Alice Jeremiah from the University of Dayton. As we said, all 13 schools are honored here, and she is just, like you said, an absolute legend.
Well, let me tell you right now, for the Flyers, combined 69-5 record and an AIAW, back before the NCAA existed, national championship as a national championship in 1980 after finishing as the runner-up rather in 1979. Unbelievable.
That's
Commissioner
right.
and chair of the Women's Basketball Association. Okay.
You see Candace Futrell just walked out from Duquesne, and Janine Radis from Fordham being honored right now on the floor. And we also see Carrie Chaconis from George Mason.
Absolutely.
So,
And Futrell was a WNBA player. Janine Radis from Fordham. 48% behind the arc.
That's a mark that's going to last for a long time there.
Here's somebody here.
Seen Darlene Saul-Grable there. Yeah, we've seen Chrissy Donahue-Dugan as well from LaSalle. Octavia Thomas from UMass being honored.
Dale Hodges, 1,000 rebounds.
Michelle Washington from Rhode Island now walking onto the floor.
Being honored posthumously and represented by her mother, Dorothy. And her sister, Sandra, was at the brunch with us this morning.
Good to see the family out there to honor her.
The leading scorer and rebounder in Rhode Island history. And
there's an old face that I knew, Kate Flavin. When I was over I was at the University of Richmond working with them in 2002 through 2004. I got to call a few of Kate's games there, including a WNIT run out on the road.
And here's Dana Mitchell, the only St. Bonaventure women's basketball player to have her jersey retired.
Dale Hodges from St. Joe's. St. Joe's is in action here. And Dale, as we said, that's a name that's a household name for a lot of folks who followed the Hawks.
You better believe it. 1,000 rebounds? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Shataya Likely there from St. Louis being honored. The Billikens played a strong game. The Billikens very similar to what Dayton did today in this game.
Shataya Likely in the St. Louis University Hall of Fame.
And Kelly Hoover representing the Rams. So it's kind of funny. They're bookended by the two teams and by the folks who are playing right now between Dayton and VCU. But it's just great here. Like you said, the past meeting the future right here on center court at the Richmond Coliseum.
Mary Alice Jeremiah, Candace Futrell, Janine Radis, Carrie Chaconis, Darlene Saul-Grable, Chrissy Donahue-Dugan, Michelle honoring her posthumously, Washington, Kate Flavin, Dale Hodges, Satoya Likely, Dana Mitchell, Octavia Thomas, and Kelly Hoover, your Atlantic 10 Legends class of 2014.
Glad to have them here today, and we're going to see the Legends of tomorrow continue here in just a moment. We're going to step aside here, take a quick breather at the half. VCU leading Dayton 36-24, the 8th seed on top right now. We'll have full stats for you and get you set for the second here in just a moment. Stay with us on the Atlantic 10 Digital Network. quite literally a battle of the bands, as both bands are going at the same time. Dayton and VCU back and forth, so it's a Flyer and Ram battle all around here at the Richmond Coliseum. On the floor, though, 36-24, the Rams leading Dayton. I'm Joey Ellswick, back here with you on the A-10 Digital Network. Got the coach, Teresa Granat. Coach Tag, taking a look at some of these stats here as we talked about. 37% shooting for VCU versus 32 for Dayton. Dayton well off the pace there from what they're normally used to during the regular season.
Even on their free throws. I mean, they're a high 70s, mid-70s free throw shooter. Number 4 in the nation, their player of the year, reigning player of the year is, and they're 3 for 6 from the free throw line. But the difference that they made up, just the amount of shots they were taking. They had almost taken 10 less shots in the first half of the first half. And now they've made up that gap, and we're seeing almost an even score in terms of percentages. Now, a higher percentage has gone in for the Rams, but in terms of just the straight numbers, they're on track to catch them if they can.
And the Rams, you know, they're the steal team, but Dayton's been able to match them in that. Just 7 for VCU, 5 for the Flyers. But another number that jumps right off the screen here at me, Coach, is that 1 for 9 mark from behind the line for Dayton. They are normally a team that shoots almost 36% from behind the arc. And that 11% total is a little bit ugly right now and can't be what they expected when they came into this game.
Well, just doing the numbers. Remember, I'm not the number. You're the numbers guru, all right? You're the numbers and names, and I'm following your lead, but not one player in double digits in the first half of the Dayton Flyers. Very uncharacteristic offensive performance.
Yeah, Hoover with 7, but it took her a little bit to get started. That 7 came kind of late in the first stanza. And Malott, she's got 5 as well. Edwards with 4, and Edwards 2 for 8. She took a lot of shots and missed a lot of shots, did the freshman in the first half.
Well, remember, Babe Ruth, he led in home runs, but he led in strikeouts too. So it's okay. If you take a lot of shots, you're going to probably miss a lot of shots too. But the fact is, they put Dayton on their heels from the opening tip. They brought the fight to the Flyers, and I'm very curious to see what Coach Jim Jaber has drawn up during halftime, because they are a second-half team, I'll promise you that.
Rams led by as many as 17 there in the first half. Only one lead change in this contest, and that was when Dayton struck first, and then VCU took it over and never looked back. Thorpe leading the Rams with 10. Parks right behind her with 8. Parks is shooting 4 for 8 from the field today, and Thorpe has 10, or 6 of her 10 rather, came from three-point land for VCU. And we got the Rams out there kind of shooting the warm-ups again. We talked a little bit about this, Coach, you know, the dynamic of the 8 seed, excited to play number 1. They just played 24 hours ago. They're loose, their body's ready to go. They kind of come into the arena a little warmed up. Dayton has been off for a week. They've had to watch basketball here in this arena for 2 days before they actually get the opportunity to play. Do you think they're just a little bit cold and we'll see a different team out here in the second half?
Yes, but I know Coach Jaber's got to be disappointed, because when it comes to tournament time, everybody in the NCAA championship run, you get a 1-hour practice time and you get a half-hour shoot around, and the clock ticks and you stand there waiting to touch the ball. When the clock's turns 60, 59, 59, 59, 58, you grab a ball and you start practice. So everything is with urgency. And I know he's a little disappointed. He's got to be a little disappointed that his Flyers didn't come out here with a little more urgency. One of the best passing and catching teams I have seen all season long, the Dayton Flyers. Everyone shapes up every time they touch the ball. They score early, they score often, they get many, many touches. The post shoot, the 3-inch transition, everybody shoots long and short. That's an old mark of Dean Smith. Shoot short, shoot long, and they do both. And they score off the inbounds out of need, and they didn't even score off of one inbounds. And in scouting them, prepping for this game, I've got to be the most impressed with the Flyers' inbound schemes. It reminds me of one of our legendary coaches in the game, Coach Kay Yao from NC State, the Kay Yao Fund that we know helps all the cancer research, the Jimmy V Fund, Play for Kay, in the month of February that we do nationwide. Best out of bounds underneath Kay Yao, her systems, and Jim Jaber right behind him, and the Flyers didn't score once out of bounds underneath.
Rams will get the start here in the second. And Parks will inbound it to Robinson, and we see a little bit of a high trap here.
Already.
And Thorpe able to get the pass from Robinson there. Now she looks for Park, baselines. Parks has had a good second half for VCU this season, and Williams dove for that one, and it's out of bounds off of VCU, so Dayton will get a quick turnover here.
Immediately you see the adjustment, the high ball, not even a hard trap, a soft trap that disrupts the penetration.
The halftime clock was still ticking down. The Flyers were already setting up for that inbound play. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. Here's Hoover.
Oh, that was not what they wanted to do. I mean, I can't say of all the film I've watched, I have ever seen Hoover bounce past the ball between Malot's legs, and I don't think Coach Jim Jaber, he's calling out a 2-1-2 trap. Oh, I'm so glad he's putting this in. I love this half-court defense they do, Joey.
Robinson to Williams, gets the open jumper, catches the back of the iron, bounces back her way, but Malott will pull it down. Now here's Dean quickly down, going one-on-one against Robinson.
Not a good
Too strong
decision.
on the baseline, as you said, not the best shot there.
Not a good decision, 1-on-3.
Robinson will pull up here, kick this one out to Williams, and the Rams will look to reset.
That's the kind of decision you want to make when you don't have numbers. Robinson passes it back out, a little more experience at this level.
And Malott headed towards the VCU radio team there. She was trying to extend on that one, deflects the pass. The Rams will inbound, and a quick substitution here. Thorpe's going to come out. Palecchio, another three-point shooter, will step in for her.
Malott only 2 for 6. I mean, that's just so uncharacteristic, but make it up on defense.
Hoover 3 for 9 there, and she's going to get the charge there. She tried to plant a little bit in the first half, finally gets that charge call, pumps the fist. Hoover's fired up here.
Who else? Hoover.
You see Marlene Stallings on the screen there as well for VCU, and credit the VCU head coach there. As we went to the press conferences for a lot of the teams yesterday, and she had a big smile on her face. She said she was excited to play this game. The Rams only lost by 4 at Dayton. Quick hands from Williams there. Couldn't get the steal, but does take it out of the hands, and it'll force another inbounds play here on the Flyers.
And she was very complimentary of the Richmond Spiders and gave credit to Richmond. Talked about how they utilized the extra practice time in the break there to do some defensive disruptions. But, you know, one of the players spoke up and said, we're just living in the moment right now.
Long three there, Sant with the tip. Ball still loose, and Sant will come away from it after a few deflections. And Dayton now will get a chance to reset here. We're still stuck on 36-24 in the second half.
Someone asked Robinson, was she looking forward to this game? She said, I'm just enjoying the moment. And that's really, really special when a coach can translate that to their players.
Great spin move there by Hoover. Got the slap on the wrist, but couldn't get the bucket to fall. She'll go to the line for 2.
See the energy and enthusiasm that Hoover's bring. I just didn't see her bringing that in the first half in terms of that action, verbal communication. Now it's body language and voice.
Free throw there is made, so Dayton will strike first here in the second after we've almost played 2 minutes of basketball as Royster checks out.
If we ever see this chick miss, it's going to be a rarity. I mean, she's 94% from the line, 4th in the nation. If you ever see Hoover miss a free throw, take a picture.
Fundamentals as Hoover sinks them both. Now Rams back the other way. Finney Smith back in for the black and gold. Extending defense here and quick hands up top. And Robinson now, a little bit of, she stepped on the line. So the pressure from the freshman Celeste Edwards forces Robinson to play out of bounds, and we'll have an inbound right in front of us here.
Oh man, we almost could have stolen that right there.
Malott with the pass in.
We could have helped on the trap.
She gets it back from Hoover, and here come the Flyers. We talked about second half adjustments, the and one play.
Watch the replay here. Watch where Malott crosses the lane, slices and dices, scoop and score. Here's what's special about that. It's old school. It's kind of an old school kind of give and go. She saw an opening. It might not have even been what was drawn up in the playbook. It was a read and react.
Hit the cutter, and Dayton does that. They are now cutting into this lead as well for the Rams. 36-28. We'll step aside for a timeout here. More from Richmond on the other side. It's the A-10 Digital Network. just like that, Dayton has cut into the lead. They have made 12-18, or made 12-8 rather, with a chance to shoot another one here when we break the huddles. And Coach, talk to us a little bit about the pass and catch game that we just saw from Dayton.
Yeah, I want to talk about Coach Lisa Stone, talked about one of her mentors, Dick Bennett, great Midwest coach. If you know college basketball, you know how many coaches and players and families this man has influenced in the game. And Kathy Bennett, head coach at NIU right now. But Jim Jaber is part of that Midwest train, is connected to that whole coaching tree. And Dick Bennett says passing and catching is to basketball as blocking and tackling is to football. Lombardi said blocking and tackling, that's what football. Look, Fordham, okay? Vince Lombardi, Fordham grad. Coach Stephanie Gately, legend, Rose Hill Gym. You're going to see that later on tonight with the call tonight. But it's the passing and the catching that separates the Dayton Flyers.
Right now, the Rams getting forced to change their shot a lot as Williams can't make that one close, and then fouls Malott the other way. So Williams unhappy with the call, but
Yeah.
Malott has really been much more active here in this second half. She couldn't convert the three-point play the other way, but she will get the foul drawn here and get a chance to set up the inbound play.
This is what I'm saying to my player. Fix your face. Your face is telling a whole different story. You may not agree. You can disagree without being disrespectful, and I'm sure that's what Coach Stallings is expressing right now.
Hoover here at the top of the key. She's going to try to create some space for her own shot. Doesn't get it. Now it's back to her going against Thorpe, looking for the entry
Catching,
pass.
passing and catching. A great pass, but you got to have a great catch to make it a complete event.
So the shot is waved off there.
Now watch the out of bounds, partner. Watch the inbounds. If we can get a full shot of our crew, has done a great job, our production crew here. We get a full shot of this out of bounds underneath. Everything's strategic. Now it's a bust, but they'll even go into a system off the bust.
Williams back into the game. Lazy back to the bench for VCU. 3-point from the corner, too strong. Though Robinson couldn't get the rebound. It'll be Finney Smith instead who will scoop this one up.
Yeah.
Now Isis Thorpe over to Robinson. She sees some daylight, quickly closed down in the short jumper. Can't fall, and the cold shooting for VCU carrying over from the end of the first half.
Well, you called it, and who takes advantage of that but Amber Dean.
Amber Dean with the nice drive on the other end, and the Rams now are only ahead by 6. They have not scored yet in the second half.
Sophomore sensation for the Flyers. Special. And we talked about the mental fatigue and what it takes to mentally progress through a championship to the championship game.
8-0 run for Dayton now, and the jump ball is going to bring this one back to the Flyers. And so everything is going the way of the top seed now, and we knew that Dayton was too good. We knew they'd fight back in the first half, and it's up to Coach Marlene Stallings to try to find an answer. She's going to pull her point guard out right now and have another coaching moment, and that will make way for Ashley Mitchell to re-enter for VCU.
Little high ball screen, but see how they're getting behind the zone now. You see Dean going behind the zone. That makes it shift, and it opens it up for the inside out.
Hoover with the jumper. That one will roll in and rattle around.
Hoover. I mean, just if you could replicate, look at the 2-1-2 half-court press. Oh, my goodness, I have not seen this. That's just beautiful basketball. And we talked about how Coach John Wooden really likes the women's game better than the men's game, he said, before his passing. Why? Because he said it's beautiful basketball.
Great play there by Williams, though, to answer on the baseline. She kicks it back to Parks, and Parks will drive in for the and one play, but I think.
Okay. The officials, they had two different calls. They got together to find out which one happened first. They got it right. Well, at least VCU thinks they got it right.
We're going to head to the timeout, though, right now. VCU scores 2 here. There's the nice drive from Dean, and we had Parks drop one on the other side. 38-32, Dayton's cut that lead into half here. We'll be back in a moment on the A-10 Digital Network. Back here at the Richmond Coliseum. And Coach Tag, why don't you clarify that call for us a little bit? So we saw that all the coaches and officials got together and talked about exactly what happened on the Parks play there. She gets set to shoot a free throw.
Hoover's feet were inside the arc. And if your feet are touching that line or inside that line, no call, no charge automatically.
So Parks there will convert the three-point play. And the Rams are up 39-32. And we'll see Robinson re-enter the contest. Mitchell heads to the bench for VCU. At the top of the key, now Hoover out on the right flank here to Malott. She's looking for the entry pass to Sant. Sant over Parks, and she'll net that one. So Sant just getting her 3rd points of the game.
My all lunch pail team. I mean, this kid, Cassie Sant, she is a lunch pail player. She does
Robin
work.
Parks with the drive off the pass from Robinson. Lane wide open there for Parks. This is Edwards and Hoover working together. Malott coming back out. Edwards will shoot that 3 over top of Robinson. Offensive board in the stick back from Malott, though.
Who else? Who else? Malott.
Leads the Flyers in rebounds, and plays like that also help contribute to her scoring. And so Williams fouls Dean there on the rebound play.
Coach Marlene Stallings is off camera right now, ranting and raving up and down the sideline. She's wanted something, but there was no touch there. If she could see what we see, she'd see there was no touch.
Coach Stallings there, getting the team fired up. We're pushing the other way now. This is Edwards. Now over to Dean. Dean will dribble inside the arc, kick it back out to Edwards here.
See Hoover's cut behind the zone. It causes the defense to have to shift out of position, and it gives a gap. Hoover's playing with 3 fouls, Joey.
She's been very aggressive, trying very hard to take those charges, and 2 of those didn't go her way in the first half, which resulted in some of those fouls there. Quick pass down to Sant, though. I think the Flyers thought they had found a mismatch there, but Sant just a little bit too strong. Parks able to pull the board down. Now this is Finney Smith. Quick 3 from her as an air ball. Williams catches it, though. She can't get it off the glass, and look how fast Edwards comes out of the pack.
That's just not what VCU needs right now.
Over to Dean, who's too strong. Jump ball here between Finney Smith and Malott, and the Rams will get it with the arrow.
Dean has got to finish layups. I don't, right now, championships are just the little things. You want to win championships, defense and rebounding, but layups are just non-negotiables. Open layups with no contact, non-negotiable.
Sand will take the bench for Dayton. Sokovic is back in for the Flyers. Saw her late in the first. Robinson now moving around the perimeter. Palecchio back into the game for VCU as Williams will take the bench. Or mark that, Finney Smith. Long shot there by Parks against Malott. And she's a little bit surprised for the foul call, but Robin Parks is going to head to the line to shoot 2 after missing the long baseline jumper.
Well, I didn't see exactly. We'll see it on the replay right here. Oh dear, I don't know.
A touch on the forearm
Might
there.
have been.
I think in full time and full speed, that probably looked a little bit more severe than it did in the replay.
Yeah, and we couldn't quite see if she actually made contact, but obviously the official was right on top of it and could see the contact.
So now the senior will make her 2nd as well, and the Rams now 43-36 on top of Dayton. Edwards, the freshman point guard, calling the play here now. Gives it over to Dean. Hoover's just waiting for it on the right side. Dean with the entry pass to Sokovic. She'll go up for the hook, tries to follow her own shot. Somehow Robinson comes out of it with that, and the Rams so quick down the floor to Williams under the basket. 1 pass too many for VCU, and it's coming the other way. It's Hoover for Dayton.
Good call. That's good transition defense, both directions, but a little too much contact by Williams that time.
Yeah, Williams trying to just not really reach out or reach in per se, but just try to put the body in front of Hoover to keep her from getting that clear drive. She gets the whistle, but now, like you said, you've got one of the best free throw shooters in the country now standing on the baseline.
Well, one thing that Hoover does so well is that if any young people that are out there listening or watching the game, initially your reaction is when the pressure comes up like that is to go away from the pressure. But great players, Atlantic 10 Players of the Year, lean into the pressure. And she actually helped create that foul by not shying away from the contact. Well, take a picture. That doesn't happen very often.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is VCU already with 17 fouls.
That happens about one every 40 times she shoots a free throw.
So Dayton's going to be shooting a lot of free throws down the stretch here with under 13 left to go in the second. Royster's back into the game, as is Pilecchio for VCU. Robinson still holding on to it. 7 on the shot clock. Now to a lazy in the corner. She'll head fake drive. Thought she could draw the foul, but she catches the glass on the layup.
You know, a couple of times in this tournament, she has just come out of nowhere and made something happen.
Royster with a block shot there. This will be another jump ball. And so it'll stay with Dayton. As Royster was down on the floor there fighting. Sigovich there.
Sikovich is just, she has a strength about her that's just a little unassuming. You look and you think, but boy, when she bodies up down in that war zone, she really goes to work. Now you see Coach Jaber coming in with a little more mobile lineup right now.
Yeah, he's going to give Dean a quick rest there, bring Sant back into the game for Sikovich. Keeping Hoover on the floor, though. Not a lot of depth off this bench here so far. I think, you know, playing down, he's trying to keep some of his best scorers in there. Edwards unable to get that pass. It bounces around and
money ball.
Well, you knew when Hoover held the hand up there, she felt that one going in from the release.
Yeah, money ball. And you see 32 Tiffany Johnson coming in. I saw her in a couple of games be a difference maker. She's a catalyst. She's a change agent defensively.
Baseline there, though, an offensive void for Royster, and she'll get a chance to shoot 2.
The Flyers cannot be happy about the second chance opportunities that they've given up in this entire game, really. And I know that that's something that Coach Jaber talked to me about earlier this week. He said we just too many easy buckets that we allowed in the last matchup, the most recent matchup that they had, and I think that's something they were trying to make an adjustment on, and they just haven't seemed to be able to do it today.
That one rattles out for Royster as Robinson will come off and Mitchell will come back on for Coach Marlene Stallings for VCU. You know, Royster's 6'3". The Rams have a pretty small front court here compared to Dayton, who have Malott and Sigmundova at 6'4", and also Sant at 6'3".
One of the things Coach Jaber talked to me about earlier in the week was just he was a little concerned that his players just aren't physically just tough enough right now.
Fall away jumper there for Edwards will drop, and Dayton is within 4.
He says, I'm not sure that physical push back kind of toughness, you know, when you get pushed, that they push back. He said Vandy really beat him up earlier in the year, just physically out-toughed him, and that's what he was concerned about in the game today.
That one high off the glass will drop for VCU.
And now we understand why.
And that one smacked away by Daisy Alazy, still controlling balls on the floor. Mitchell's going to get a piece of it, but Edwards will reel it back in. 15 on the shot clock now for Edwards.
Dayton has got to hit the gaps, Joey. There it is. There's a gap. That's how it works.
Back out to Sant, though. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Malott will throw one up, but she will get the fouls. Royster's going to be whistled.
Well, as you said earlier, she can't throw it up expecting the foul, which is kind of how that shot looked. We'll talk about Malott when we come back from the break.
Definitely. You see the battle there, and there's that three-pointer for Hoover. She right now is with leading all scorers, are actually one behind Parks with 14. Parks with 15 here. 48-41. We'll take a quick break. Rams still leading Dayton here in the second. Back here in Richmond, number 8 VCU staying on top of number 1 Dayton in the A-10 Women's Championship. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about who we saw there getting the contact on the way out in Ali Malat.
Jim Jaber called her Miss Congeniality. She's just the kind of student athlete that you want around your team. She cares about everybody. He wants her taking a little more chances and stepping up. I think you've seen her answer the call today in terms of taking a few more chances and stepping up into that space, that leadership space that they have with such a young team.
Malat now with 11 in the game, matching her jersey number. She is 0 for 3 from behind the line. Rams very quickly up to the floor. This is Isis Thorpe. Daisy Alazy with the offensive board. Parks thought about a 3, but instead will send it back out to Robinson.
See him extend that high pressure defense. That's what that Johnson's on the floor for, in the game for, right there.
Steps right in front of that pass,
That's
though.
why she's there.
And got the deflection out of bounds. Not sure about that call, but it's going to go out of bounds to Dayton. That one confusing a few folks there, but the Flyers are going to get the inbounds here.
The Flyers, they want to score in the first 6 seconds. They imitate the Phoenix Sun. They use a drag screen. They step up into the gaps. But if not, they want to take you to the last 6 seconds. So the first 6 or the last 6, the best shot they can get.
A lot of movement on the perimeter. Malat sees her pass tip there. Now pushing down the right side. This is Alazy. She'll get the finger roll, and the Rams hit the 50 mark. Edwards the other way to Johnson. As you talked about, a lot of movement on the perimeter, looking for the opportunity. Sant fighting Royster, trying to get free just to set a screen.
Remember what I said earlier in this championship tournament event?
The entry.
Who's the difference maker? Players 6, 7, and 8. That's Alazy today.
That's right. The entry pass there was deflected by Royster, and now she's fighting for it underneath. And the jump ball called. A lot of jump balls in this game, as you see the folks with the long arms here, and this is that play where Alazy was able to take that pass and just go coast to coast with the layup.
She's not a starter. She's not the kid that's been coming out and first 5 every time, but she's come in and made a big difference today.
They get the inbounds to Royster, who's above everyone else on that one, and now Robinson will reset a little bit. It looks like the Flyers content to guard out high on the perimeter, and then that's going to be, just kind of jumbled up there. Both teams at the top of the key, but
Yeah.
Parks just turned around and Johnson was there, and I think if Johnson had kept the feet set, this one would be going the other way.
Yeah, I think you're right, partner.
But Robinson, though, nobody to pass it to, needing some help. Finally gets the long ball out to Parks and then to Royster. Now over to Thorpe, looking for Parks down low against Malat. She'll pull up for the jumper, too short.
That's right.
Royster, and I think
Over the
Sant
bat. Yep.
whistle going to be whistled for the foul.
No.
She was trying to back her out.
Oh, wow. I thought it was going to be over the back call.
I thought so, too. I think the only difference is it was whoever got the ball there. If you look at it, Royster, because she got the touch on the ball, I think she got the benefit of the doubt on the call, but that was pretty even. They were both bumping each other pretty
hands
hard.
Were down. You got to keep your hands up, means not guilty.
Like that one, Coach. I'm going to have to use that one for
guilty.
later.
Not guilty.
For
Robinson. Both hands up.
Thorpe almost let that one go. Now to Royster. Over to Alazy. 15 on the shot clock for VCU. Isis Thorpe guarded heavily. He's going to take the 3 anyway. Can't get that one, and then Parks reaches in against Malat. Getting a little chippy here down the stretch, Coach.
We talked about parity earlier in the contest. Malat maybe got her fingers. She's already got one of them bandaged up. Oh, that's the worst injury. I remember late in the season, especially in those junior and senior years, you get your thumb pulled back, especially if you're a big-time rebounder and you're battling for the ball and pushing and shoving down there in the war zone. And, boy, that affects everything you do, because that thumb is what helps you pull those rebounds down, the pinky and the thumb.
This is what we talked about. It hadn't been too impactful yet, but at the 13-minute mark, VCU was already already given Dayton the bonus, and now the foul on the other end on the reach-in from a rebound play results in free throw opportunities for Dayton, and that's not what you want if you're VCU. Flyers have now been able to cut the lead to 5 with no clock moving.
Yeah, not with this. And they're 1 away from double bonus, Joey, and that would be huge for Dayton to be able to score with the clock stopped right now in a two-possession game.
They're going to try to set that trap right at the midcourt line. The pass out to Vecchio. She and Alazy on the floor together.
And the trap is not necessarily to get a steal as much as it is to force you to make a mistake on cue.
But it's Alazy with the quick hands for a second time, and now she's trying to get it up the floor.
Our difference makers are showing up today.
Daisy Alazy is seeing her minutes grow as the season, and they're trying to press Robinson again up top. Off the glass there, no luck for Calhoun. Still bouncing free.
Now take care of the rock, Dayton. You're in this position once again.
Johnson brings it in, and that one thrown up quickly. Took about 6 bounces and finally dropped for Amber Dean.
Hey, remember Vince Lombardi's quote, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
That's 7 for the sophomore.
You call it lucky, I call it a lot of hard work.
And that one bounces up over the rim and behind the basket. It'll play out of bounds to Dayton.
Vecchio, I mean, she was perfect from the three-point line in the Richmond game.
Oh, she was.
She's coming here. She struggled a little bit, but you just tell your shooters to keep shooting. Shooters, keep shooting. Coach, I'm a little cold. Keep shooting. You'll get warm.
She is a sharp shooter for the Rams and a sharp shooter for Dayton, bringing the ball up now in the freshman Celeste Edwards. Works it over to Johnson, down to Malott. No one's going to get in her face. She'll take the jumper. Dean with the offensive board. Great position for that one. And the Flyers will get the reset here.
See how the Flyers bench is all up. They're trying to bring some energy. It's possession basketball. They know they could tie the game on this possession or at least put it to within 1.
Hoover playing with 4 fouls right now on the bench.
Young team, take care of the rock, Joey. You've got to take care of every possession and value the ball.
And that's going to be a jump ball, so it will stay with Dayton as Mitchell was able to get the hands in there cleanly and wrap up the basketball. 50-47. Dayton has cut this lead to just 3 points. We're coming back with more action on the other side here on the A-10 Digital Network. The 2014 Atlantic 10 Women's Championship here live from the Richmond Coliseum in the state capital of the Commonwealth. And you see Hoover coming back into this game, Coach. Dayton has cut this lead to 3, as we said, headed to the break, but Hoover was on the bench from the last time out.
Yeah, I want to see the inbounds underneath here. You see that how they immediately attack to score.
Hoover with 4 fouls. But Malott, she's not worried about it. She's now got 15 for Dayton.
I've scouted every team in this Atlantic 10 and prep for this event, and I'm telling you, they are the best out-of-bounds underneath team in the conference.
The number 1 seed is within 1 now. VCU, this is Alazy on the left side, out to Parks. Parks playing with 3 fouls. She'll bank the jumper, and that's exactly who you want taking the shot for the Ram faithful.
Right over Hoover. I think Hoover, she'll probably take that personal. I would if I were her. Both wearing number 24, both scoring a ton of points for their respective teams.
Hoover's your A-10 Player of the Year. She shares first team honors with Robin Parks. And now Hoover with the ball here, pushing to the top. Over to Dean now on the left side. Shot clock within 6. Nothing unusual for Dayton. Hoover, though, trying to get it in. A great baseline pass there.
Gravy.
And Malott now with 17.
I don't even know what to say about that. It's like just the poise and the confidence that it takes for a young woman to make that kind of pass.
Alazy back out to Robinson. The Rams will try to reset the offense. Vecchio left wide open in the corner, and you can't do that. A 3 ball for VCU.
What they weren't able to see, but the VCU player was actually holding one of the Dayton players, had her absolutely by the waist.
Entry pass down low to Sant, turnaround jumper, draws strong, but look at the
Who
follow
else?
there.
Who else?
That was Malott who made the pass, got down low to make the rebound.
I mean, she's playing with urgency. She is
Hoover.
playing with urgency.
Wide
Joey.
open look from three. That one off the back of the rim. And it's Malott again as she and Parks collide. Parks somehow able to keep the ball. Both a little bit slow to get up here, and now VCU will slow down this pace. They're back up by 4.
Coach Jim Jaber yelling out, exhorting his players, changing the defense up once again.
Robin Parks, she'll shoot another long jumper. Not enough on it this time. Royster went after it. Last touched by VCU.
You mentioned earlier the legs, wondering will the legs of the Rams hold up in the second half? It's a 2-possession game, but there's only a few possessions left. This is a timeout that we'll stay here for. It's a 60-second timeout taken by Coach Jim Jaber. And this is it's a great question that you posed to me. You say you think the legs will run out? Well, you just saw it in Parks. She buries one coming right back in, but she had fresh legs, and now she's been 2 or 3 possessions on defense, and she comes up short. But that wasn't short. That was all net right there.
Yeah, you see that there. It was a great play by Palecchio. She checks out at right as the substitution was made. And we saw Isis Thorpe, the other sharpshooter for VCU, come back in. And you say, Coach Jaber got within 1. Now it's back up by 4. VCU makes a big shot. I think this is just a seasoned head coach calling that timeout, getting that team regrouped. Dayton has put the pieces of the puzzle together. They've come back from 12 down at the half to get within striking distance now. You take a look at the shooting in the second half. His team is shooting 50%, while VCU is still shooting 30%. And the Rams have taken 3 more, though, than Dayton in the second half. So the shooting has been much better for the Flyers here in the second.
Well, they pulled it within 1, and they've been to the championship. The Flyers have been there, done that. And they have got to show some of that consistency and some of that maturity now in the last 5:27. If you just go possession for possession, it's 5 on offense, 5 on defense, and then a 50-50, one person will get 1 more than the other. So I'm very curious to see if it's if it ain't broke, don't break it, or Rick Pitino, if it ain't broke, break it.
Well, that last shot that was missed by Edwards for Dayton was a 3. She's 0 for from behind the line today. Dean will shoot the baseline, too strong, and the 3-point shooting has not been there. But 30 of Dayton's points have come from in the paint here as they miss another 3.
Yeah, I think that's where Dean's just got to settle into the offense and let her go-to players go to work.
There's a lazy out to Robinson. Against Edwards. Robinson now will look for Thorpe. Thorpe guarded by Dean, and Dean is right on top of her. Thorpe will try to get through, too strong off the glass, and Dayton with numbers here.
3 on 2, see if they can take advantage of it.
And there's more points in the paint from Dayton. Make this a 1-possession game.
Celeste Edwards taking her time with that little up and under.
Robinson here now is going to work Edwards in a little bit. Now find Parks. A lazy with some room against Hoover. A lazy off the glass. She can't get the roll. And it's Hoover the other way now for the Flyers.
She's gotten 2 out of 3 of those exact shots. I'm running out of room in that spot for her.
Hoover with the 3 ball trying to get the lead. Sant on the stick back. That one rattles out. Parks with the board.
Well, this is where you feel the energy of, is an upset going to happen? Is an upset in the air for the VCU? They're really kind of a hometown Richmond and VCU feel here at the Richmond Arena. But do they have the legs? And more importantly, do they have the mental capacity?
Parks pulled up there for the little baseline teardrop. Rams back up by 2. Edwards now to the left side for Dayton. Tough screen set there by Robinson, and Edwards will draw the foul. Robinson just ran right into Sant, and that one bounced off of her a couple of feet. We will take a quick timeout here. Rams, we're headed into the final stanza. We're going to talk about the shot flow of this game with Coach Tagg on the other side. But it's VCU 57, Dayton 53. Just under 4 left to go in this one here from the Richmond Coliseum. It is coming down to the wire, as it pretty much has for about 4 out of the 5 games so far here, the Atlantic 10's Women's Championship. Coach Tag, talk to me about the differences that you see from when VCU played at Dayton back on February 15th when Dayton won that game and what we've seen today.
Whatever VCU is doing defensively with their matchup is forcing and funneling the Flyers to go into that middle third. If you just extended the lane lines all the way up to the half court, it looks like a shot chart from a VCU game. All the penetration, how they're having to come off the dribble. On the other hand, VCU's shot chart looks like Dayton's normally does. It's absolutely flip-flop from what we would expect.
We are buckling up here for a close one down the stretch as Edwards drops her first one from the stripe, and she'll get the second one as well. 57-55 here. Parks, quick pass through the pressure. Now Thorpe down to the baseline will bring it back out. Tipped away here by Edwards. Parks with a saving play. Rams still control. Over to Thorpe. 3 ball from Thorpe rattles out. Rebound goes to Dayton.
I mean, they just have the green light on that. It gives me a little bit of a flutter in my heart when I see that. I just want to set it up. Time and score is on their side, not by much, but by a little and enough to make a difference. But Coach Stallings gives them the green light.
Dean over to Hoover. Now down low to Malott. Hoover in the paint. She'll turn. Can't get that one to fall, but she will go to the strike. So Hoover comes right at Parks, and now both Parks and Hoover are going to be playing with 4 fouls here.
Here it is, the chance to tie it up with a shot, but now not being able to put them ahead with a bucket and one the old-fashioned way. She's got 2 at the line.
So Hoover knew that. She went right after Robin Parks on that one. They both have 4 fouls. And Hoover, as we said, a 94% free throw shooter coming into this game, makes her first one. Thorpe will come off for Palecchio. Royster's back in as well. And Henry will head back to the bench. Limited time for her today.
She's below her average at 3 for 4. I mean, most players beg for 3 for 4 for a career.
Exactly. Another one rattles out, though, uncharacteristically for Hoover.
No, that's just got to crush her heart.
That keeps the Rams on top by 1.
Look at the extension by Malott.
Yeah, Malott gets a hand on that one. Edwards on the drive. Fast break play here. She can't get it. Malott tries to tip it back out. And I think there's going to be contact. They're going to call that on Malott for going over top of Parks there.
She was a little disappointed in that. I'm not sure. I think it looked like she was elevated above her. It looked like there wasn't contact. It looks like there wasn't any body contact, maybe hand to hand. We'll see.
So the Rams will get the inbound here, and we'll still sit on the 1 point difference.
We're not even in 1-1. That's how smart these Dayton Flyers are. Savvy defensively. They played so hard and so smart, and not even in 1-1 yet.
Just 16 fouls for Dayton. Cross midcourt, now into the arc.
Now they're switching the screens, Joey. That's an adjustment we haven't seen from the Flyers.
A long jumper from Parks there, barely draws iron. Dayton the other way. Edwards.
That's your legs you're talking about.
Edwards short as well. Sant, though, gets the board, and I think we're going to see contact. Royster is going to be whistled for the foul here. She tried to take that one away from Sant. And once again, they don't have to work for shooting here. Dayton's going to have a chance to take the lead because of the double bonus.
You see Coach Jim Jaber just with that intense look on his face. I asked him about, oh my word.
Sant misses the first one.
Defense, rebounding, and the next 2 are real close, 3 and 4 in terms of championship run. 50-50 balls and free throws. 50-50 balls and free throws coming down to it, and we missed 2 by the Flyers.
Sant misses both of them. She's a 67% shooter in free throw, so the Rams will stay on top here. Just not falling for Dayton right now.
Well, the atmosphere in the arena is electric. The VCU fans are on their feet and have been for about the last 2 minutes.
Parks there. She's got a lot of white jerseys around her. Will kick it out to Robinson. Thought about the 3. Drives in and gets the and one, and the VCU bench explodes.
Got to be careful there. We saw a big taunting celebration last night in the ACC tournament. It was almost a difference in a game. And
the jump stop there by Robinson, and she drew the contact as she jumped into Edwards. That's the experience you get
You can celebrate the play, but you can't take it beyond that.
Exactly. And so the three-point play is converted. Rams back up on top by 4. Now some of the Dayton faithful trying to rally here a little bit. Get excited behind their team. Both teams traveling well to this tournament.
Well, their go-tos for the Flyers have got to step up. Somebody's got to take some leadership in that gap right now and say, I refuse to lose.
Malott down to Hoover. Hoover going cross court. High pass there by Dean. Gets Sant down low. She'll get a chance for a three-point play. As she goes up into Royster, and Royster called for a foul.
Chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way, and this time and point in the game. And hands are straight up, but it's the body. It's the undercut with the body and the hips that you see there, the displacement that occurred.
VCU's going to call a timeout there now as Melanie Royster, their center, picks up her 4th foul. 1.5 left to go here, Coach. We are coming down the stretch.
If they can turn that camera back on for us, I mean, we want to keep the feed on as long as we can here because the coaches are all strategizing right now. They're dialing up plays. Every single person in the arena is coming up with we got the Bonnies right sitting behind us. We got the teams all over the arena that are watching this game that are dialing up in their mind, what would we do in this last 90 seconds? And so as you see the coaches, you can't see it right now, but the coaches are huddled up, and the VCU coaches still haven't left their huddle. But the Dayton coaches have left their huddle, their coaches huddle, and they're drawing something up right now. There's only a few seconds left to communicate it, but this is why you play. The game starts at 0-0 for a reason. Anybody can win in March. Anybody can go to the tournament.
It's true. Finney Smith checks in for the Rams. Coach, if you're sitting there with Dayton, what are you trying to do here, considering what's worked for them all day? They're down by 2 with 1.5 minutes left to go.
Well, in light of the tremendous educational background, and I'm saying a prayer first that the Atlantic 10 represents, and I'm calling on all my friends to do the same thing. And then I'm probably doing something that's familiar to the team. I'm probably drawing up something that we've done every day in practice. Remember when we practiced this last week and you hit that shot in this spot? Do it again.
Chance for the three-point play. Another one missed for Sants. Tipped by Malott, but the Rams will get the rebound.
I thought that was the same push-out call with the hands that was made on this end, and just didn't go their way.
Body's bumping a little bit as Robin Parks now hold on to it. Has it stripped away. Sant takes it away from Parks.
My all-lunch pail team for the A-10. Put Sant on there. Give her a spot on the all-lunch pail team. Cassie Sant.
Hoover. Down low, Malott, the long tool drop, tie game here now at 60 with 1:03 on the clock.
That kid, Miss Congeniality to the coach, she's got ice in her veins.
Marlene Stallings going to call for a 30 here as her team has tied it up. There's under 1 minute left to go in this one.
Look at this.
Down to the wire between number 1 and number 8.
If you're into 80s music, that was ice, ice, baby. I mean, that was beautiful. String music, bottom of the net, that's exactly what you wanted to hit. What I want to see when the ball's extended, as you see the ball coming up, I wish Robinson would have brought it all the way across the half court and called the timeout in the half court because you still potentially could have a backcourt situation here. Coach Jim Jaber's X and O in it right now. He's making a defensive adjustment. If I'm a head coach right now, this is where I would take opportunities like this to gamble a little bit. I know it's a little bit scary, but high risk, high reward, Joey. Maybe put a trap, an initial trap on that first pass. Maybe one little special thing that they haven't seen all year long that we've been saving for the championship run.
60-60 here, Rams with the ball. Inbound comes from Parks to Robinson. Malott with 19, Parks with 19, each leading their team and leaders overall. Alazy, she's had success on the drive, goes against Hoover. Parks with the offensive board. They're going to call a jump ball.
Oh, wow.
Parks ripped it out and put it back up, and they're going to call a jump ball. The arrow will keep it, though, with the Rams.
Now we'll see.
How about Malott there to get in there cleanly and wrap that one up?
This is where your special situation, absolutely, she comes in right on time. She's an on-time player, let me tell you that. She was on time in the offense, on time in the defense. Now here's where your special situations tournaments come in. Every day at the end of practice, near the February type of the season, let's see, they're going to go back and maybe check the clock or get something right there. Now Coach Jaber, I think, wants a 30, and he gets it. He's got plenty of them. He'll use it. This is what you're doing. We at some of our team camps, we run a special situations tournament at the end of every team game. We'd say 43.3 seconds on the clock. You're tied, out of bounds underneath your basket. The winning team would get the first offensive set. Then we'd go down, and the losing team would get the next offensive set. And it would give the teams a chance to practice that end-of-game experience. These coaches have already done this. They have already played out this event. They might have even put it on the actual scoreboard in their arena and actually had this scenario already played out somewhere in practice this year. So this is awesome.
60-60 here between number 1 and number 8. March Madness at its finest in the first session here, as the top-seeded Flyers are going to defend against the Rams, but the Rams are going to have to inbound here with 11 seconds on the shot clock.
This is about special situations tournament right here.
Robinson trying to get it over top to Parks. Hoover gets a piece of it. Parks puts it up. It's off the glass and rattles out. Ball is still loose. Flyers control. Outlet pass here to Edwards. Edwards now at the top of the key. She'll pull it back a little bit. We've got about a 9 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Dean down low. Malott loses it. It's Parks. Shot clock is off in the Rams' control.
It hit her right in the numbers. I mean, it's almost like she was going to make the move before she caught the pass. And remember what we said? Passing and catching.
Marlene Stallings going to use another timeout here with 16.3 and try to set up for what could be the final shot of this game. The Rams don't want to leave a lot of time for Dayton here, I would think, on the other side of it. You want to make sure that you're at least holding this until the end for that last basket.
Well, I'm taking the first best open shot. If I got a layup and it's at 15.1 seconds, I'm going to guarantee you we're throwing the ball down and taking a layup. But if I don't, I want a high percentage shot right now. Both these coaches very well experienced in terms of drawing up a 5-4. This is what we call a 5-4-3-2-1 event. I mean, this is what you live for as a coach, as a player. You can never imitate this in practice in terms of an event, and the crowd is on their feet here in the Richmond Arena.
Yeah, we've got both sides up here as Parks will inbound to Robinson. Quickly back over to Parks. Parks now handling it on the sideline. She'll go cross court to Alazy. It's tipped over to Dayton. Outlet pass to Edwards. The layup off the glass with 6.2. Dayton leads. Rams pushing down the floor. It's Robinson, and she's fouled. Runs into Malott here right at center court. Malott didn't keep the feet set. So with 3.3 now, Dayton leads by 2. Their first lead in the second.
Let's just take that in for a moment. Let's just take it in, partner.
It was tipped off the hands of Alazy. Quick outlet pass there by Dayton. Then back the other way. You see this one, the finish by Edwards, and now it's on Robinson here. The front end of the 1-and-1 is good. 62-61 now. VCU. Robinson will try to tie it here. And now a timeout's going to be taken.
And he got it. He got it before the ball was tossed. He got the timeout called.
So Coach Jaber going to ice the shooter a little bit here and also draw up what he's got to do here with the 3.3. If VCU makes it, he's got another inbounds pass.
Wow. You just can't get any better than this. This is exactly what the tournament, the volunteers, the band, the coaches, the fans, the grandparents, this is exactly how Commissioner Bernadette McGlade has drawn it up. This is an event. This is an event. The Atlantic 10 women's basketball at its best.
Hoover right now with 15, Malott with 19 to lead Dayton. And Robinson with 10 here will try to tie this one up from the line.
We haven't moved from our seats and my heart's pounding out of my chest.
It rattles off. Dayton gets the rebound. Clock ticks out and a foul. No whistle called. Dayton's bench empties and the Flyers escape with the win. The number 1 seed sneaks away as Robinson, the freshman, unable to convert there on the free throw, and the Rams, who had led this one up until just the final few seconds, lose to the number 1 seeded Flyers, 62-61, Coach. Dayton got away with one there. They fought back into this one. They cut that lead, and they sneak away with a 1-point win.
Remember our NASCAR analogy? You see the Daytona 500 this year? I mean, right, it can happen that fast. The whole game, they were in total control. except for the last 3.3 seconds. Are you kidding me?
Dayton, the #1 seed, will advance to play tomorrow, and they're going to take on the winner of our next contest here. I tell you, that one is a close one, and they got the siren cranking down there for the Flyers fan, 62-61. And like you said, the RPI of VCU right now, 99.